What's up, Flavor Fiends? This is Jace with Black Raven Pit and Purpose. Today we're talking about Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue and teaching you how to smoke pork loins. Let's go ahead and go to our prep that we did yesterday. Okay, so again, we have one pork loin that is kind of falling apart here. We're going to plan to actually wrap this one in foil and leave it wrapped during the smoking process. This one we're going to leave out in the open. It's going to turn out great. Not really worried about this guy. So this week, again, we're using honey as a binder. It's just really sweet and works really well with all my homemade sauces and rubs, so I just really like honey. So we're just going to use a tiny bit. I mean, you can see I barely have any in the bottom of my cup. And again, it's good to just kind of get a nice even layer over there. I'm not worrying about the bottom. Once we got that on nice, we'll move over to this guy. This guy is just falling apart. This is going to be interesting to see how this turns out. I honestly have no idea. I've never done a pork loin like this before. It's going to be interesting. And I thank you guys for being along for the ride and supporting us here. That's looking pretty good there. Let's take this last bit, get it into every little broken piece I can. I'm hoping to kind of use the honey and the rubs to just kind of like fuse the pieces together, but that's not really how this works. But we're working on a hope and a prayer this week. All right, so that's looking pretty well covered. We'll kind of put this last little bit on this guy here. Yeah, and this guy's just perfect. I don't think this guy's going to give me any problems this week. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Now for our rubs this week, I have a savory rosemary and garlic that I obviously make myself. We're going to put that one on the good one, and then for our irregular friend here, we're going to be using our chipotle char. This is like a brown sugar and chipotle rub. Has like a sweet, mild spice to it. It's just really good, especially when you throw in the sauce that goes with it. So we'll go ahead and start with this guy up front here, and again, just be very liberal with the rub. I put about 1 cup in every package, so you should have plenty to do basically any kind of meat that you got. And you can see I'm not even using the full cup, and we have pretty much covered this guy, so nothing to worry about there. So now that we have those covered, we're going to go ahead and wrap them up for 24 hours just to make sure we can get this flavor to sink into the meat. Really hoping this guy turns out all right, but we'll find out. If you have an opening like that, just grab another piece of foil. It's not going to hurt anything. If anything, you'll help yourself out in the long run. All right, we will leave these in the fridge for 24 hours before we get ready to smoke them tomorrow. And we'll see what they look like in the end. Okay, now we're going to get our grill ready to get these pork loins on. Now in the video that you saw about the prep, I have 2 different ones going right now. One of them looks pristine, the other one is falling apart, and it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So we're going to have different times that we're going to be starting them both. But first we're going to start with our water mixture of the day. Okay, so for today's mixture, we're going to be doing garlic and black pepper. I'm just going to use coarse ground. It doesn't really matter what type you have, just use whatever you got, but I like coarse ground. So we'll just dump a ton of that in there. Next we'll put in the garlic. And our water. Now again, you want to fill the pan about halfway up just to make sure that there's plenty in there. If you need to top it off later, that's perfectly fine. That looks good. Take one of our brushes here and just kind of mix this around. Okay, next we'll just put our pan of water in our smoker. Again, that'll help keep our meat nice and wet. Kind of just make sure it doesn't dry out. Now our first one is going to be the little guy here. Now since we're doing this bare, it's actually going to cook slower than the one that we have in foil. So I am actually going to start this, and then about 45 minutes after, I will put in the bigger guy that has to stay in the foil. Here's what that is kind of looking like after 24 hours sitting in the fridge. Get that foil out of there. Nice and dark. That's exactly what we want it to look like. Looking great. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it right on the grill. All right, and next we have our big guy. I'm gonna keep this wrapped. Again, I'm gonna put this in about 45 minutes from now. We are cooking at a temp of about 225 degrees. Now, on average, a pork loin needs to go in for about an hour per pound. With this being a littler guy, we're looking at about 2 hours on that one. With the foil on the other one, I'm hoping to get it done in about an hour and a half. So just remember, 225 is key. And then we'll just kind of keep an eye on our temperatures here and kind of go from there. So we're gonna go ahead and close this up. And then in 45 minutes, we'll be back to put on the second one. All right, let's place them right there. Actually gonna get our probes in there. Go ahead and close her up. Okay, now I'd like to take a chance to talk about Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue. They're a nonprofit based out of Council Bluffs, Iowa. Not only does Muddy Paws operate as a traditional rescue focusing on rescue, rehabilitation, and rehoming, but they have broadened the definition to include a variety of programs aimed at helping both pets and pet owners in the community. They offer assistance to pet owners needing help with vet bills and offer free and reduced rate dog training in an effort to keep dogs in their homes, along with a pet food pantry. Muddy Paws also started the Parvo Puppy Project, taking dogs diagnosed with parvo out of local shelters, getting them treated, and finding them loving homes. Now, if you don't know what parvo is, I suggest you do a quick Google search. It's scary stuff. And normally shelters are not equipped to keep a dog with parvo in their facility due to the high risk of spreading. So in the past, there has been no other option than to euthanize these pets. With everything Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue does for dogs, they also have a soft spot for cats, including a bottle baby kitten program, where specially trained fosters take in neonatal kittens and bottle feed them until they are old enough to be adopted. They're also known to take in medically fragile pets and get them the specialized medical care they need, which is such a huge help to pets and pet owners everywhere. Muddy Paws was founded in 2015 and adopts out 250 to 550 pets per year, including dogs, cats, and pocket pets. They have over 200 pets in programs at any given time, with 250 volunteers working to give them the care and attention they need. So much so that they spent just under $300,000 in veterinary care in 2024. Right now, they're in need of kitten formula, kitten food, both wet and dry, and toys, of course. So please donate today to help this wonderful nonprofit continue providing care for hundreds of pets. I have 2 rescues myself, so this organization really means a lot to me and others in the community. All right, so that was Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue. Thank you for watching. We're going to keep our meat going until we get to an internal temperature of about 145 degrees. Once we reach that point, our meat is ready to pull out. So we'll see you then. Okay, both of our pork loins are officially at 145 degrees, so we are raring to go. Don't forget to check out Muddy Paws Second Chance Rescue for more information. The website is below. And don't forget that I am more than happy to do any sort of nonprofit work and help volunteer, you name it. So nonprofits, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to tell your story. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and obviously YouTube. Like and subscribe. And let's check out that beautiful meat footage.